The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly, but gets faster each minute after you hear this signal. A single lap should be completed each time you hear this sound. Remember to run in a straight line, and run as long as possible. Your test is over. Remember to run in a straight line. Your test is over.
Hello, this is episode 10 of Gym Class Podcast. We made it to 10 episodes. Thank you for those of you especially who have listened to every single episode. Really appreciate you. And still trying to grow this thing. And I've been a little inconsistent lately as far as like when I'm posting episodes and stuff. But I kind of just reached the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post episodes. I'm going to record when I have time. I'm not going to force anything out because I feel like that's when it gets boring. You know, nobody wants to hear a forced episode. So when I have time to sit down and really record something fun and entertaining, funny, enlightening, whatever, educational, I'll do it. And I'm recording this episode here today on Veterans Day. So I thought, what better thing to do on Veterans Day than to talk to a veteran, a PE teacher who is also a veteran of the armed forces. He's an Army veteran, and I mistakenly asked him, I thought he was in the Marines, and I feel terrible for getting that wrong. I almost wanted to start the whole thing over, the whole interview over when I did that, but whatever. His name's Morgan Wright. Some of you may know him as Morgan the Moose on Instagram, and he's currently going through some stuff right now. He's currently going through a lawsuit against the school district where he works. He was let go and transferred to a different school. He's going through all this stuff because of a Facebook comment he left a couple months ago about a certain high-profile podcaster who was, brutally murdered on camera. Some of you might know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to name the name right now. I'm not going to give it away. But he has a really, really cool story. Morgan does, my guest. He's, like I said, veteran of the Army. He's an American Ninja Warrior veteran. He's been featured, I think, 5 times on that TV show. He is a PE teacher and social media influencer now. So really, really cool conversation. I hope you enjoy it. I wanted to give him a chance to tell his story first before we get into the whole, stuff that he's dealing with right now. But yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy the conversation. So without further ado. There he is. I'm here with Morgan Wright, Coach Wright, a.k.a. Morgan the Moose. How are you doing on this fine Veterans Day? Thank you for your service.
Oh, hey, you know what? It was an honor to serve. Thanks for having me. And, it's going to be – I'm pretty excited for Veterans Day. There's a lot of seriousness that goes to it, but me and my friends, my vet buddies, we use this day to go up a weight class. We go hit all the food buffets. No buffet shall remain unturned.
Which restaurant, what place has the best Veterans Day special? Because they all do a little something, but I'm sure some of it's probably like, oh, here's a free drink. But some places go all out. So what's your favorite?
I got to tell you, for the most consistency and authenticity, Mission Barbecue.
Okay.
Mission Barbecue, vets get a free sandwich. There's brisket, and there's everything else if you're not an actual American, and that's okay. But you get the brisket sandwich. Everyone's so friendly. They consistently have little deals for veterans. It's not a show with them. It's part of their identity and their integrity. Yeah. So
yeah, you know what? Actually, I just thought we have a Mission Barbecue that opened fairly recently by me. I mean, it's in Naperville, Illinois. I live in Aurora, Illinois. But yeah, that's pretty tasty stuff there.
Yeah, and they're great. It's like, oh man, I'm ready though, homie. Let's get.
You're ready to go smash some food.
Bad. I just shaved off my mustache, and now I have to look at your mustache with one eye closed, so I only saw half in love.
My mustache is the envy of a lot of mustache wearing. It's okay. It's fine. It's not a lot of men can't grow a mustache like this. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But listen, you have a really really cool story. Marine Corps, right? Am I getting that right?
Well, I almost. I went. I actually did go to Marine Corps boot camp, and I made it through. But in the last exam, I failed. We have to cram your head in the jar.
Oh,
Could
no.
not do it.
Okay.
I'm Army.
Army. Oh, I want to like start the whole thing over now. I'm sorry.
No,
I messed it
trust
up.
me.
That
Trust
is
me. I want all
that
my
is
Marine kids to hear that
inexcusable.
joke.
Okay. Army veteran. Couldn't because you couldn't get your head in the jar. American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Heart attack survivor and PE teacher. So like, where did it all start for you? How did you start down this crazy path that's given you all these hats that you currently wear?
It's going to sound incredibly silly. I was 7 years old, and yeah, but it won't be that long, I promise. I went to a Halloween party for like a bunch of school kids, and I was dressed up as a little ninja. I had my little headset on, my little head cover. I was holding a big stick. I'm like, I got my staff. I'm a ninja. And the lady's doing tarot cards, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do the tarot card thing. And she was like, okay, well, what do you want to be? I said, well, I want to be a teacher like my dad. My dad, just phenomenal, best teacher I've ever shaken hands with personally. Said I want to be a ninja because ninjas are amazing, and I want to be an army man. And I don't remember what she did, but she pulled out some cards. She was like, well, this is odd. It looks like you're going to be pretty good at all three of these things. And I was like, okay, don't think about it. And later on as life went on, I've learned as we grow old, we ask kids what they want to be when they grow up. Not because we're trying to encourage them. We're fishing for ideas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I started off, I was enlisted in the military for a long time. And I went green to gold and became an officer while also taking 7.5 years to get my 4-year teaching degree.
That happens.
Oh, man. And I was doing okay. Got deployed to Afghanistan. It was April 1st. When they faxed my orders to my school, I'm like, all right.
No, how do you take it seriously on April 1st?
Oh man. So went to Afghanistan 16 months, come back. I was doing athletic competitions at the time. I was the running joke that my MMA buddies. I was the token white guy in the Army boxing team back in the 1900s.
Yeah, in the 1900s. Yeah,
oh man,
long time ago.
Then, but when you're an average boxer, and you have when you're a counterpuncher and you become old, you're an average boxer with bad head movement. So I don't like getting hit. People are like, oh, I swell up and see red. That's cool. I swell up and bleed. So I started picking different sports. I started doing obstacle course racing and other stuff. And my daughter, she's like, after my 10th birthday, I want you to do the ninja show. She kept saying the kids loved watching it. And I was like, all right, I'm pretty good at obstacles. And applied for the show. You have to make a video. The way the Ninja Warrior process works is you go online, you fill out like 8 pages of having to say how you're amazing and how you've never been a super bad criminal or done anything wrong. And then you have to send a 2 to 3 minute video showing that you have a personality. Because at the end of the day, it's still a TV show. We'd all be destroyed by like 5'6" gymnast named Tanner from Ohio otherwise.
Right.
And I ended up somehow getting called for the show back in like season 8, I believe. So, and then here I am. My students are now seeing me on TV. They've seen pictures of me in Afghanistan. I'm, running around. I ended up being the first teacher in the state of Florida to receive the Golden Apple Award. I've been the PE Teacher of the Year in my county four different times now. Then they just finally stopped giving out awards for special areas, And now I just finished up my 5th season last year of American Ninja Warrior. Normally I have like a large beard and a silly moose hat, but
yes, I've seen the moose hat and I've seen the beard. It's a good look.
Thanks, brother.
You had to take a break from it, I guess. We gotta sometimes with the facial hair.
Oh man, well, yeah, it's like one of my students, Coach, you don't have to dye your beard this year for Santa. It's white enough.
Oh, ouch. Okay. But you earned that. You earned the whiteness of the beard, right? And I want to rewind a little bit because you kind of rushed through it. I want to talk about Ninja Warrior because I have so many questions. I'm sure so many people do because we're curious about. We've all watched that show and been like, that looks like a combination of insanely difficult but also insanely fun. But how did you get into joining the armed forces? Is that something you always wanted to do as a kid?
Yeah, I always thought I did, and I never really thought much about it. I was like, I'm going to do that one day. But I never seriously thought about it. And then I was a senior in high school, bagging groceries at a grocery store. And I was outside sweeping a little bit, and an old man on a radio. The radio cut off his music and it announced the start of the Gulf War.
Okay.
And I was like, oh crap. So I went home that day, and my dad and I would always sit down and watch the news together at night. And if I had questions, he would explain it to me. So I was just like, okay. And I saw all the conscientious objectors. And for some reason, I felt really embarrassed by that. I'm like, okay, I understand. Now I've gotten older. I understand the mission might not have been as good as it could have been. But for some reason, when you're 17, you're like, you join the military, and now you're like, no, I'm just kidding. So 3 days later, I was down at the MEP station where they process you, and I swore in as the world's tiniest little 18-year-old, and I was sheltered. When I say, my parents were wonderful, loving hippies. Tom, my middle name is literally Sunstar.
So,
I'm not part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sunstar.
And I went
Have you ever considered just going by Sunstar?
I did for a little while. Instead, before Moose, they used to joke around and call me the Sunstar Kid, and I'd be like,
"That is awesome. That's awesome."
It was great, man. It just sort of flowed with the military. I ended up making it to the Army boxing. I'm like everyone's favorite uncle. I just sort of stumble into things randomly.
Yeah.
But and the Army was fantastic, honestly.
With a name like Sunstar, did they make fun of you in the Army? That's what I want to know. Was that
all the time? The thing is, I didn't really clock it. They'd be like, Sunstar, are your parents hippies? Yes, Drill Sergeant. Do they smoke that weed? Probably, Drill Sergeant. Do you smoke it? No, Drill Sergeant. Well, okay then.
With a name like Sunstar, you gotta assume it was you, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I just like at this point, yeah, and it. I don't care if people laugh at me or with me. I made them laugh. Go have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. So Army boxing, was that like a mostly recreational thing? Was it competitive?
It was competitive, and for a hot minute, it was 3 2-minute rounds. So you are going all out. And when I say I was tiny, I was my weight. I was cutting down. I was fighting at 135. I mean, I was like, Gumby would try to body up on me.
Yeah.
But I also have a 75.5-inch wingspan. So, and I throw hundreds of jabs each round. So I went, I ended up going 9-2, and then that was a lot of fun. But the training for that started getting me ready. I was like, I'm kind of good at this sports stuff. I'm like this. I'm awful at traditional sports. Do not pass me the basketball. I shoot baskets the way stormtroopers shoot a Jedi.
Yeah, same.
Oh, man.
I get it.
But
basketball is my Achilles heel. And then, Army boxing, how did you become a PE teacher then? Did you go to school for that after you got out, I'm assuming?
So, you would think. Actually, both of my degrees are in life skills and specific learning disabilities. And you can, as always, you can always take a knowledge test and then transfer to like a different area. And I've always loved fitness. I would take a little extra class for fitness, and I always loved kids fitness because now these days a strong mind needs a strong body.
Right.
And I would even with my life skills kids, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna go outside, but I would just give them free play. I'm like, okay, we're gonna try to do this. We're gonna do overhand throwing. We're gonna do catch flee. And then my principal at the time, my very first year of teaching, she's like, you ever thought about PE? You're just really good out here, and the kids love, they love, listening to you, and you're not just playing, you're teaching while you're, through play.
Yeah.
And so I took the little test, and I was like, I passed, but I didn't think much about it. When I came back from Afghanistan, though, my spot was not available anymore. My teacher, they had to fill the position, and they're like, well, we have a spot open in the middle school, and you already know, there's no way I'm saying people teach middle school.
Yeah,
so
it is another breed, middle school PE.
Yeah, I had a school up the street with a principal. She was like, hey, we need a PE teacher. I heard you're good, with kids. You want to try it out? I'm like, sure. The moment where I thought I knew everything I needed to do until you sit there and you have like 70 plus kids just staring at you. And it's not like in a classroom where if one starts gazing off or, you can let it go. If kids in PE see a couple of kids not participating, that's a chain reaction, and you lose the whole group. So it was very humbling, but so exciting because you cannot fake a lesson teaching physical education. There is no hiding it. They won't just sit there and look back with apathy. They just start chasing butterflies through the field or pulling out their phone. So, and I love the challenge, and I loved it. And
you
then,
said 70. Was this at an elementary school, or was this the middle school?
This is elementary. This was my first elementary school. I'm now, I was at a larger school now, where my largest group was about 114, 115 at a time per grade level.
That's way too many kids.
I do have a second coach and two paras.
Well, that's good. That's good.
That spreads it out.
Yeah, and is that like 2 or 3 classes at a time, I'm guessing?
Anywhere from 4 to 6.
4 to 6 classes at one time.
Yes, sir.
That's still too many kids. Wow. Okay. Do you have a nice big gym at least?
No. Florida, we don't get gymnasiums.
That's right. That's
it's only
Florida.
where it snows. They're like, you could dodge a hurricane, guys. Just go inside.
Okay. So are you mostly just outside?
Yeah. Unless there's lightning in the area, we are outside.
This is something that a lot of people don't realize, and it's not just Florida. A lot of the southern states, like New Mexico, Arizona, city planners, designers, whatever, they come together and they're like, we're building an elementary school. Should we add a gym? No. The planet Earth is your gym, and it's like, how do you feel about that? Do you wish you had a gym? I can't imagine, because there's certain things that are just hard to do outside. It's harder. You're out in nature.
Well, a few things. When my very first year teaching PE, it was 87 degrees.
Okay.
The last 3 years in a row, the year has started, and where I'm at in Southern Florida, it's been 94 degrees.
Oh, wow.
So I will say, and it turns out, Tom, melanoma is not that sexy.
No.
I look like a homeless roofer all day long. I've got the overshirt, the sweatpants, the big gardening hat, the zinc oxide shirt.
You have to.
I'm burning. I'm like human ceviche. I'm just cooking up in this thing.
You have to. That is a serious job hazard, and like the number one. I learned this a few years ago. The number one spot of skin cancer for men is the ears. Do you put sunscreen on your ears? Yeah.
Oh man.
And that's a job hazard that like we shouldn't have to deal with. But a lot of PE teachers in those southern states, I mean, the sun is just baking down on you, and your principal's like, well, that's deal with it. It's a job condition. It's like it shouldn't be. Right.
Oh, I watch your videos of you coaching in the gym, and I'm not going to say I gaze lustfully, but there's definitely some envy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm one of these people, call me old-fashioned, but I feel like every school should have a gymnasium. I understand that the weather is beautiful in Florida, don't get me wrong, other than like the heat and, the humidity, but, you still got to go indoor. I mean, basketball, scooters, floor hockey. Are you still able to do that stuff?
I don't do floor hockey. It's too rough. My court's not big enough, and I've learned sometimes arming children with large sticks.
Yeah, that can be a little scary.
But I can do scooters. I can do my parachutes. If it's not too windy.
Right.
Basketball. I have a court, but my biggest thing is. The younger they are, it's a new generation. I don't. People always say, "Oh, these kids these days," but the people saying that are the people that are literally raising these children.
Right.
I'm not going to blame a 7-year-old for being lazy. That was the environment he was given at home. But it's gotten the heat. I'll have especially when kindergarten first starts, they're coming outside 94 degrees. They're crying. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hot.
Yeah.
I get it. It kills their. I do the best I can to not kill their love of fitness. I want them to be lifelong lovers of fitness. And not having gymnasium does add significant additional challenges, unfortunately.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's always going to be like that in Florida.
Yeah, in Florida and a lot of those, like I said, a lot of those southern states. And then, too, I was reading this post from this teacher in one of those Facebook groups. There's a lot of complaining that happens in those groups, and sometimes it's cringy, but this was a legitimate thing. This lady was teaching in a charter school in Arizona, and her gym was like this big old nasty looking old conference room, and there was like nasty ripped up moldy carpet, and her equipment closet was just a corner of that room. Like there was no closet, it was just she had a pile of nasty ripped up balls and some hula hoops, and she was like, I'm ready to quit. and she was asking for advice, and I couldn't think of any advice. All I could think of was like, I wouldn't blame you. I don't think anybody would if you would quit. So it's like, even the schools that do, designate an indoor space for phys ed, it's like, that's not a gym. That's the conditions that we're dealing with these days. It's like, it's all going downhill fast.
Well, we become an afterthought. It's
Yeah.
You know what? A great. I still teach dodgeball, and you've seen my comments before. I'm big on dodgeball. I just don't catch or block because I want to work on the overhand throwing mechanic. Since I made that first lesson plan 19 years ago, I put my little captivating hook. If you can dodge your inch, you can dodge ball. Patches O'Toole.
Yeah.
And I put in a whole bunch of really silly stuff. In 19 years, Tom, no administrator has ever clocked in the ridiculousness of that lesson plan. And fortunately, the value that we bring to PE is considerable, especially in elementary. But no one checks. As long as no one's injured, there's no parent complaints, they don't care.
No.
And which is unfortunate because a well-managed, structured elementary school physical education program dictates the behaviors and discipline of the school.
Yes, for sure. It's SEL, and the
Yes.
funny thing to me is now that there's this big push for SEL in the classroom, social emotional learning, and they're discovering, like, I'm doing air quotes here, discovering the benefits of social emotional learning. Like, wow, if we just take a little bit of time every single day and teach these kids how to manage their emotions and how to get along with each other. Meanwhile, us PE teachers are like, hello, we've been here this whole time. That is what we do. That's what we do in the gym.
Yes.
Like, we call it team building, but would it make you feel better if we changed it to SEL? And would that make you invest more in a quality PE? Would you get a gym in Florida?
Yes. And we are one of the last bastions where children actually still get to authentically interact with each other. Now it's hurry up and eat, be quiet in the lunchroom. Library, we already know the time in the media center, the libraries. It's now Florida pretty much doesn't have librarians anymore. We only have media specialists as an assistant position. It's no longer taught, so they can't talk. Be quiet in the library. Classroom interactions are quite limited. They get to, they come to PE though. They could talk. They can interact. They can play.
Right.
They can learn how to say, excuse me, or make friends. So it's we're that last bastion of social skills, and we don't receive sometimes the acknowledgement, or even they're just not aware. And they won't be aware of that until physical education is not there sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk about Ninja Warrior. Okay, because I thought it was really funny recently. Cause I made a video about gym shoes and how my whole stance on gym shoes is like, just let the kids play in whatever they're wearing. It's not like, and in the video I said, it's not like you're having them do Ninja Warrior courses. And you left the comment and you were like, actually, I am doing Ninja Warrior courses. And I was like, all right, you get a pass. But you said 5 seasons on that show, and Ninja Warrior. I used to watch the old one because it started in Japan. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Suzuki, I think it's called.
And like I'm sure a lot of guys have watched that show and thought to themselves, man, that looks like fun, but it's got to be insanely difficult. So like, I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious, like, how difficult is it? Like, the first time you did the salmon ladder, the warped wall, like, were you surprised at how tough it is, or were you already kind of just athletic enough where you were able to get up there? Like, what did that feel like? Okay,
I felt supremely confident at first because I have been running obstacle course races like Spartan and some of the others on the competitive elite waves, and I was a good runner but fantastic at the obstacles because I tend to be very I'm normally around. I try to reach 165, 170 as a competitive weight, and I walk around around 180, so I'll lean out. It's you don't understand the scope and size of the obstacles until you see it in person.
Okay.
Right? I looked at the warped wall on TV, and I drove up to a gym 2 hours north of me just because they had a warped wall. And I was like, I'm going to go up there just to make sure I can do it. The warped wall is 14 and a half feet high. Now, that you don't grasp it until you look at it, and you're like, I'm going to die. Awesome. Because if you miss that little lip, you're like, you go, boop, boop, boop,
Right.
boop, boop, and you roll down.
Yeah.
The space in some of these things. You're doing like a double swing or a lache. It's like 6 to 8 feet wide, and in the back of your mind, like I have 15 feet before I hit the water. You know, even the very first steps, like the little the hop steps that they have, the very first one.
The ones,
People don't
okay, so
realize-
just visually, in case anybody, those are the ones, they're like on an angle, right? And you kind of got to
Yeah.
like zigzag. Yeah. And like people, I've noticed on that show, you know, like the bigger competitors will just like step on them like they're nothing, but then occasionally you'll have someone who will kind of like have to like, you know, latch on to each one, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the whatever technique. What did you just call it?
It's called a cat grab.
The
You just
cat
jump
grab,
onto it,
okay.
you're like,
Right.
Yeah.
And anytime I see one of those people, I'm like, oh, that must be way harder than it looks.
I do that every single time because no one wants to wipe out on the first obstacle.
Right. Okay. So that's a
And
smart choice then.
They are. There's a 5 foot gap width between them, and probably about a little over 6 feet spread out down the row. So, imagine you haven't have enough momentum to either cross a 5 foot gap and move 6 feet diagonally through 5 steps, or I play it safe, because like I do everything at a confident medium speed. Because if you make it through, you automatically advance to the finals.
Right.
And I've made it to out of 5 times, I've made it to the semifinals twice and the national finals once, and it's humbling, like because we don't get a chance to pre-train on anything. They bring you down. They keep the build secret, and then you get to see it the day of. And they do a walkthrough. Somebody demonstrates it, and you get to watch.
Okay.
And then if you have any questions, you ask it then. And then that's it. You don't get to know anything. And they will sometimes adjust the obstacles in the middle of the run. If something is too many people are passing one obstacle, they'll make it slightly tougher.
Really?
Or they'll make it slightly easier. And you don't know. We have to start watching the build crew. You'll see them pause, and they'll start like any of those obstacles where you're sliding down. We have to grab onto something to hold it, and it slides down and drops, slides down and drops. There's a little thin cable that no one sees that either it's either taut or slack, so you have a little bit of a less of an impact or more of an impact depending on how many people are passing that obstacle.
Okay.
So, and so you also not only are you paying attention to that, you're trying to drink in the course. You never know what you're going to see, so you have to train for everything. And I'm 51. Okay, I'm not saying age is a number. However, I like to get into bed sooner these days.
Yeah.
I didn't
Same,
get on the stage last time until I think 3:42 a.m.
Wow.
They film all night long because at night there's less ambient noise and the lighting pops so much better.
Okay.
So yeah.
It is always at night. Now that I'm thinking of it, I never thought of that before, but it's always at night.
Yes, sir. And there's a lot of things that I didn't really learn. And the running joke that I make is competing on Ninja Warrior is a lot like prom night. It takes about 5 days from start to finish for 5 minutes of fun. It's a lot. Like I usually have to burn my personal time to travel. I don't like being away from all my babies at work.
Yeah.
It's anywhere from 5 to 7 days. But it is such a unique experience. The community is ridiculously supportive and amazing because the ninjas are very supportive of each other because it's not us against us, it's us against the course.
Yeah.
And there's
So
just been a lot of good.
And you've competed. You survived a heart attack in 2022, right? And
Yes.
you came back. You competed after that. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that experience, because that's scary.
It was the problem I have is that I fall victim to is what a lot of guys do. We'll feel that something's not quite right physically, and we'll be like, I'll get that checked later.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was at my peak physical condition, but something wasn't quite going right. I noticed I was getting winded before I should during the same exact work that I've done the whole time. And it turned out one of my main arteries never quite fully developed, and so I had a clog slowly building up.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this doesn't feel right. You know what? And I was like, I had an appointment, like 10 days, in the future. And I remember going to the gym that morning, and I remember starting to do like a basic workout. And I'm like, I don't feel good. Something's wrong. I'm like, I should go to the VA. I don't remember walking out to my car. Apparently, I don't remember driving the 16 minutes it took me to get to the VA, which is
Wow.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I could have caused, a serious issues to somebody's life. So I'm completely mortified by that. I do remember walking in. I looked at the receptionist and the nurses at the desk, and I said, pardon me, ladies. I believe I'm having a heart attack, and I'm really sorry. And I saw that look of horror on their face. They're like, oh, that's not good. And then I remember waking up in an ambulance, and the medic was like, hey, you need to call somebody. You got about 5 minutes. They put nitro under your tongue. And I'm like, okay. I'm trying to message my family, and I got through, and then I'm out. I coded right there on the spot. The AED shock machine, the CPR. They took me to the first hospital where I coded again. Had to get shocked and CPR'd again. Then they ran me to the heart hospital called Health Park in Florida, which is one of the premier heart health hospitals. And they were ready to helivac me to Tampa for as a emergency heart transplant. They had a heart ready for me in case it had pulled through.
Okay.
They're like, this guy is, he's 48. He's got lats. I mean, people like this, they don't have heart attacks.
Right. Exactly.
And I was in a coma for 5 days. What saved me, there was a brand new device called Impella, from the Abiomed company. It's basically like those little curvy straws that could crinkle out and turn around, but smaller. And it goes inside the artery, and it is attached to a pump, and it basically pumps the blood for you, because the heart is a muscle like any other part of your body, and it let the heart rest. So I did break out of my coma a few times. I had to be restrained and strapped down. Unfortunately, I remember waking up.
That's scary, right?
It was. I really am Ned Flanders. I don't want to hurt anybody. I remember waking up, breaking through the meds. And I'm chewing on the intubation tube, and there was an angel there. I thought, and I'm like, "Is this reality?"
Right.
And, And she's crying. She's like, "I'm so sorry." And later on, and they put me back under. It ended up being one of the nurses, and she came to visit me, and she was this huge, massive bruise. Apparently, I had headbutted her when she leaned in to talk to me. And I'm like,
God.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
Hallmark doesn't make a card that says, I'm sorry for headbutting you during my coma.
Yeah.
But they were all very supportive. I was supposed to have 7 months of recovery, but because of being in shape and going through with that new technology, I was back to work in 11 weeks. And I got to tell you, Tom, I went through a large phase of the 5 stages of grief, the being bitter. I'm like, I spent all this time being in shape. Well, why would this happen? And then I can also because I was in shape. This heart attack was supposed to happen a decade earlier, but because of fitness, it didn't. And it was a struggle. I had, because of the coma and everything, I was supposed to be a vegetable. The doctor came out and said, well, this surgery was a success, but he spent too much time without oxygen. He will not be the man, you think he is, when he wakes up, but I was able to pull through, but I had my right pec, bicep, and forearm and hand completely paralyzed, because I also had my rotator cuff torn during the surgery. So I just couldn't, the rebuilding process took many, many, many months. All I could do was walk with difficulty. That started off was my first start, and then later on I'd be walking about 5,000 steps to 10,000 to 25,000 steps a day. That's all I could do. And then after that, I bought a weight vest. I would walk with that. I could lean against the wall with my hands, and that's it. And then slowly over time, I've been able to build it back up. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm getting there. I was invited back to Ninja
Yeah, it just recently aired, I think, because I remember seeing. I was watching NBC. I think it's NBC, right? I was watching
Yeah.
it, and I was like, I know that guy. I made my kids look up from whatever they were playing with,
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
you've competed since recovering. That's insane.
It was just, and man, it was. I mean, they had me on the national commercial, so like, every hour people would see me looking at a color. Like,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
my students are like, I'd go to work the next day. Coach, you were in the hospital last night. I saw you on TV.
Oh, they thought you were in the hospital last night. That's funny.
Yes, and so I'm trying to communicate that. Like that's not the case, but but being back, it had been I think 4 or 5 years since I had been on the stage. So I had taken a break, and I didn't think people were like were that big into me because I became a fan favorite, but like a Diet Coke version of fan favorite, just 1 calorie of fan. And it was like, it was almost, I said almost 3:40 in the morning. And when the camera, we had a fully live crew, hundreds of people in the audience. And when the camera zoomed in on my hat, when I first started walking up, everyone exploded. I mean, they just exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, they're screaming, they're cheering. I mean, I'm getting on stage
Because it's the
again.
moose hat, right? You're wearing the moose
Yeah.
hat. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm walking on, and like everyone was just so happy to see me. And I work really hard on showing positivity in competition. It's literally what we do. You should want to win, but never at the cost of your sportsmanship.
Right.
But
Yeah, yeah.
I just sat there and I looked around. I just put my hands on my knees and just started crying. I mean, I couldn't stop.
That's I can't imagine how much emotion is like flowing through you in that moment because that's like
It
full
was like
circle.
full circle. Well, yes.
Everything that you went through, the sun and the stars are aligning for the sun star. Sorry, I mean moose.
That was so good. That was so good. I mean, chef's kiss to everyone at
And
home.
talk
I
about a
just did.
story like you were saying earlier. They make you audition. They want to hear your story because at the end of the day, reality TV. I know because I've sent in audition tapes for like America's Got Talent stuff. They want good stories and like
Yes.
what I mean. You had a good story before the heart attack, but talk about. I mean, you've recovered from that now. I mean, you survived Afghanistan. You survived this heart attack that should have did you in, and you survived teaching outside in 94-degree weather. I mean, the sun, the clogged arteries, and the insurgents couldn't bring you down. So, like, do you feel invincible now, I guess? I don't know.
Mostly. I've been taking some shells lately, but
Yes, lately. Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. You have taken some shells lately. You got into some hot water, so I'm going to ramble on about some background stuff here a little bit. Like, you made a comment about Charlie Kirk on Facebook, and I saw the comment. It was a very tame comment. All you did, a lot of people were making similar comments using his own quote about gun violence. And,
Yes.
first off, I just want to say, obviously, I think it should go without saying, like, what happened to Charlie Kirk, very tragic thing. We don't want to see anybody go out like that. Like, and, I think about how that video of him getting murdered was like
Murdered.
instantly going viral, being passed around lunchrooms, cafeterias, like little kids are watching this. I mean,
yes.
I was in college the first time I saw a video of somebody being, beheaded. Like I don't even remember where it was, but like that's a regular thing now that we take for granted that these kids are seeing. So I just think about like the loss of innocence there, but obviously too, like the loss of life. It's an insanely tragic thing, but at the same time, we're being expected to mourn this person who really spent a huge part of his life and dedicated his career to attacking people and defaming people, and a lot of his targets were teachers. I mean, he had a list of college professors and high school teachers who, in his, according to him, taught woke topics, and the people we've heard from people on this list who their lives have been completely like made miserable by this list. Like they've been attacked, they've been sent death threats, they've been doxxed. So it's no surprise then that a lot of us teachers are, not exactly mourning this person. Like we're sad about the tragedy. We can acknowledge that it was horrible, but at the same time, for anybody to expect us to miss him is insane to me. So you posted just a very innocuous, at least to me, comment, just kind of acknowledging like, hey, yeah, this sucks, but at the same time, he said it himself. What was it about the certain amount of gun violence or deaths is worth it in the end?
Yeah.
That was
So
it.
what I did,
Yeah, tell us what happened after that. From the moment
Yeah.
you hit post on that comment, go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, I made a comment, like you said, I made a comment on a friend's page, not a post. I didn't make my own thing, and I used Charlie Kirk's Second Amendment quote, and then I said at the end of the day, I mean, I guess Charlie, was able to defend what he wanted with his words.
Yeah.
And I said, now, do we send thoughts and prayers because that's worked so well for our school kids,
Right.
in schools. And then I had a second comment under that I commented on my own comment saying, no one deserves to be murdered in broad daylight in a school. We need common sense gun reform. Guns are the number one reason now children 17 and under die.
Yes.
We can do better as a country. Now,
Yes. 100% right.
One person got upset with this and decided I was celebrating his murder. I am not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I have greatly admired that he would still go out and take public debates. I'm aware that he would pick and choose and cherry pick what he would put on social media.
Yeah.
But at least he tried and went out there and did it. So, I'll never begrudge him for that. The one person, from what I understand, got upset, screenshotted the top comment, did not include my follow-up relating it to gun violence, which as teachers, that's a pretty big topic for us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
That's trauma. I mean, we've all dealt with it.
I've buried more than a couple of students now in my last 21 years. They submitted the one complaint, and based upon that, it was kind of weird. I was given 10 days of suspension without pay. I have been involuntarily moved to a school almost 20 miles away, not teaching PE. I'm now teaching an inclusion-based social functioning room, and I haven't been in the classroom in over 20 years.
Yeah.
It at times it does feel, I won't make all I'll say is that the judgment, this sentence came by the recommendation of the superintendent, who I had a public debate with a little over a year ago, where it was widely accepted that I performed incredibly well at the public debate, and that the points that I made during the debate were.
Wait, sorry, public debate? You mean like actual formal, like behind a podium type thing?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was picturing like a comment section, debate, like we call those debates these days. So this was a legit debate.
This is a legitimate debate, and where I live, they made the superintendent position electable, which I think is awful. That's the whole reason you have a school board. They pick and choose the best. They made it electable, so I signed up to be a candidate. Not seriously, I just wanted to go to the debates.
Oh, so you ran against this person?
What's that?
You ran against this person then?
I did, but
okay.
And I only wanted to go to a public debate because I wanted to be a teacher expressing actual teacher concerns.
Right.
And so I got there, and my concerns were pay, because if we have a teacher shortage. If the pay is not commensurate, especially for our paraprofessionals, our teaching assistants, we are unable to do the full scope of our job because we lack bodies. And when you lack bodies, now discipline's a problem because you have less eyes watching. So it's a teacher pay, cell phones, fixing busing. I mean, we have buses that are still running. I have 20-year-old buses. They're still running routes, so they're supposed to be recycled every 12 to 14 years.
Yeah, all legitimate concerns.
Oh, yeah, and these are the concerns I had. I was able to voice these out during the debate. Now, I would like to hope that these aren't connected, but I noticed I had one comment in the file that was lodged against me. My administration at the school I was teaching stated that there was no disruption to the daily workflow at my work site. No one had asked to have their students removed or anything like that. And yet, still here I am going through this. So unfortunately, we were unable to come to any type of consensus. So I did have to open up 2 federal lawsuits, which I'm old, man. I don't have to be doing this. I want to go play dodgeball and scoot.
Yeah, no, it's a nuisance.
But if we don't stand up for teachers' rights and the First
Yes.
Amendment, now what's going to happen?
That's
There's
huge.
going to be people who say that you have the freedom to say what you want, but you're not free from repercussions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address that real quick for the listeners who might not know. So teachers are allowed to have the commentary outside of their workflow as long as they're attached, saying, I teach at this place and this is my opinion. We provide opinions as a private entity, and there's something called the Pickering test in law, where they test what you say versus the First Amendment if it does not cause a disruption to the workflow of your professional job. A government entity cannot punish a government employee for their personal political beliefs. The Supreme Court ruled on that in May 2024, 9-0, upholding that judgment. So for them to reach this consensus does seem incredibly odd. Now,
In your district, the administrator you said already said out front that there was no disruption, right?
yeah, my school administrator, yes, but it was the superintendent that I guess has had a different viewpoint of this, and
Yeah.
so now I'm having to have this go through the legal channels to have this very odd punishment be rewound and reversed.
Yeah.
We had 7 teachers total that got some sort of a slap on the hand. We have 2 teachers that were up to be fired, but they're also suing. They're also having their legal suits. Of the
Okay.
7 that were not recommended for termination, the other 6 only got 10 days suspension with pay, or nothing at all, and put back to work. And then my ruling has been notably much more harsh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, why I've been singled out. I mean, people have, had their thoughts and opinions of this. What has been nice though is, while I didn't plan on this being, a big deal, I've received national attention from, other podcasters,
Yes, yeah.
stuff like that, influencers, and the thing
And
is,
students. I've seen in one of the articles, a lot of the families and students in the community where you taught for so long are speaking out, saying what a great, what a crucial part of that school that you were, right?
yes, Tom, we're probably over 1,000 now. I've had students reaching out to me, parents. The one social influencer that posted my story on TikTok, thousands of comments. Facebook, thousands of comments. Instagram, thousands of comments. It's so incredibly humbling, the amount of community outreach. People are calling the Lee County School District now and saying, "Hey, this is ridiculous. We want our coach back. What are you doing? We want Coach Wright to be reinstated."
Right.
My children, they look up to him. I had one parent, Coach Wright was my parent. He was my PE teacher. And now he's about to get my kid, next year in kindergarten. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So it's been incredibly humbling. I just can't. My heart has grown 3 sizes. It's
Don't,
it's like,
hopefully not too big. We don't want to mess with your heart too much.
oh man. But
We want it
Yeah.
to figuratively grow, but not literally. No,
So-
it's great that you have all that support. Obviously, it's well deserved, and it does seem like a cut and dry First Amendment issue. It really. I am also one of those people who people complain about. Oh, I got fired from my job for. Yeah, I've said that line where you're entitled to freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequences. But like you said, the consequences have to make sense, and you did not put anybody in danger, and what you said was incredibly tame compared to what a lot of people have said, and it was incredibly valid. The comparison to, the Second Amendment and comments that he said, it's like, man, you can't get much more tame and legitimate and valid than that, and you're still being, targeted. And I know you probably can't say so, but it does seem like it's because of that doggone superintendent. Like, what's going on with this guy,
It's been very unfortunate. Our district is definitely in a rebuilding phase, and I feel like the priorities could be much more child-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
However, I'm not the one in charge. I do have a voice though, and I work hard on getting it out there. It's
and you need to, and it's great that you're speaking. I'm sorry that you have to be the one to, step up like this after everything that you've already done, in service to not just your school community, but the whole country. That you're once again having to step up and like defend teachers, and it's crazy to me. And this is just yet another example of how our society holds teachers to a higher standard than almost anybody else. I mean,
to a higher standard than they hold themselves.
And then they hold themselves, and then they hold the president. Like when Joe Biden was diagnosed with cancer, like stage 4 cancer, like pretty rough stuff, at his age. He's allowed to come out and say, don't feel sorry for this guy. He's a bad guy. Don't feel sorry for him. He's a bad guy. And, he gets away with saying stuff like that. And yet, somebody who spent their entire career making the lives of teachers miserable, that they pass away, and we're all just expected to be quiet, mourn him, be sad, don't say anything. And if we do say something, we end up getting thrown under the bus, raked over the coals. And it's crazy to me how we're held to a higher standard than people we elect to represent us on a world stage,
Well, the biggest part to really emphasize your very correct statement is teaching is the only profession where we are governed by non-teachers. We literally have Vince McMahon, the WWE's wife, running the Department of Education. When she tried to do a speech about AI, she kept calling it A1.
A1. Oh.
And I'm like, and Vince McMahon, he's got so many lawsuits for not being a good person.
Oh, yeah.
And before her, that was it Catherine Lovejoy, I believe. What was her name?
Who, the former secretary?
The former Secretary of Education.
Oh, Betsy DeVos?
Betsy DeVos, that's right.
Yeah.
Her husband, made a huge donation, and she's like, well, she has, had no knowledge of the profession. Well, my kids went to school. Yes, a private school that you spend a lot of money for. So, it's a farce that we are governed by non-educators, and everyone's like, oh, you're grooming my kids. I can't get your kid to put his name on the top of his paper. I'm just here to teach this kid how to throw an overhand ball. You know, like there's a lot of misconceptions. They always joke about, oh, I want cameras in the classroom. I have 26 total cameras covering my entire PE area from all the outside cameras. I am always on film, and I've told parents, pull up the film. I'll show your kid being your kid. Yeah. And
they always say they want cameras, but darn well they're not going to watch it. It's like they're not. Oh my God! They're not going to tune in. It's like those people that say, "Oh, this meeting should have been an email." It's like, yeah, but you wouldn't have read it. Be honest.
Yes. Oh my God. Or like you hit them with facts. Like, well, do your research. I literally just did.
Yeah, I did my research, and I also read papers by people who did real research. I didn't just watch YouTube videos. These are really just crazy, crazy, crazy times. Everything's backwards, and it's every day feels like in the trenches. And I appreciate, like I said, the work that you're doing, everything that you've already done in like the armed forces, and then just as a teacher serving your community, and now fighting back, against this unlawful decision from the district. I think is just insane. I hope you're taking good care of yourself, and I hope you enjoy some awesome free grub today. I hope you get it all. And actually, you know what? I want to drop. Do you use Venmo? I want to drop your Venmo in the description here, so other teachers can buy you a cup of coffee. Can we do that? Do you have Venmo?
I do actually, and I love that you already know that teachers run on. Oh gosh, all right. You know what? I hate to say it. I don't know my Venmo. Is Cash App okay?
Well, no, you don't have to get it right now. Just send it. Yeah, text it to me when you get a chance.
I don't have Venmo.
You don't have Venmo? Okay, Cash App. I think I can figure out how that works.
Yeah,
but
Cash App is just $Ninja Moose. All one word.
Text it to me. And then I'm going to put it in the... You're not actually Moose. You're the Sun Star. We're going to put that... I'm going to put that in the show description. And then, I was going to send you a coffee gift card earlier, but you said you don't like branded stuff. And I was like, well, shoot, I don't know the local coffee shops.
Honestly, all right, I hate it. I do love Starbucks because their caffeine content is higher. I love Starbucks too. Yeah. Their caffeine content's higher, but I'm like, on the other hand, I'm paying $6 for a venti iced coffee with the little vanilla stuff. Only
It's
110
insane.
calories.
The prices are ridiculous. Dude, I went to Stan's earlier. I don't know if you have Stan's in Florida. $50. I spent $50 on coffee and breakfast for me, my wife. We got 2 coffees, 2 sandwiches, and just 6 donuts. When I got the bill, I was like, I just spent $50 at a coffee shop. This is getting out of hand. Prices are, and you're right about Starbucks. It's way too expensive, but I love Starbucks too. How can you?
I mean,
it's
it's
something
so
that's hard to
good.
get away from. You know, it's like Amazon.
Oh man! Thank you. Like that is like I feel guilty because I got
No, don't feel guilty.
Yeah, Amazon. I'm like, but I get it in 2 days.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm like,
one of those things. Hey, no ethical consumption under capitalism, right? That's what we say to make ourselves feel better. But hey, thank you so much. Is there any last things you want to plug? Anything coming up? Any other ways that we can support you?
I mean, I will say I have been. My biggest thing is dealing with the legal the possibility of legal fee. The union's got my back so far, but it only goes so far, and having to survive the days without a paycheck. And don't get me wrong. I mean, as a teacher, I'm already quite independently wealthy. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's a rock star fame, bags of cash. But,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
yeah, but it has been. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. I have my Venmo.
Oh, you do have Venmo. All right.
Yes, I thought I did. Let me see. 1 second here. But that has been my biggest worry. Is just, because it's fun in games. Like one day you're young and free, and the next day you have 2 teenagers and 3 car payments. That sneaks up on you real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I had to verify that I'm not a robot, but it worked. I mean, which
You
is
really
kind
don't
of,
need to get it right now. You can text it to me.
Oh no! So I'm one of those that like has an issue where if I don't do something, you know what?
You'll forget.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're going to be smashing free grub later.
I panic. I will text it to you, and I really appreciate that, man. It's,
Yeah, no problem.
I live below my means, but I've had to burn. You know what? I'm gonna dial it back real quick. So the classroom they put me in, sometimes the children will get a little too overwhelmed, and you have to sometimes gently find a way to hold them so they don't hurt themselves or others. And there's something called teach training, where you're now certified to be able to do that. I got moved to a classroom where that is a necessity for the teacher to have that. Mm-hmm. And I don't, and not having that, is none of us ever want to put our hands on kids.
Right. Yeah.
But having to do that, I can't, as a man teaching elementary, I can never be in a situation where I need to gently hold a child against his will to keep him from hurting himself or others legally. Because so I've had to like burn some of my sick time, to make sure I'm avoiding that type of situation. Mm-hmm. The admin at the school I've been voluntarily transferred to, though, has been incredibly supportive. I'm signed up for teaching, but yeah, it's like, you're put in a situation where I'm like, am I being put here because they're hoping I fail, or I grab a kid too wrong, and I don't want to ever do that.
Okay, so they're trying to. You think it feels like some things are trying to like get you in trouble,
I
put
hope
you in a
not,
situation.
Buddy, but everything.
No, I
everything,
get that.
matters.
I think we've all been in situations like that where we feel like that paranoia a little bit. Like, am I being targeted? Because we do. I mean, how can we not be paranoid when we do get targeted unfairly so often?
Yes, and I've had people. I have gotten a lot of very colorful messages from around the nation. Most of them in support. Some of them been quite creative on the things I should do to myself in an unkind manner.
Yeah.
And more than a few, like, a man teaching in elementary, that's weird. I'm like,
I get those too. I get those too. Yeah. You're a man teaching kids, so you're automatically a creep. I get those comments too. It's like, really? What? Like, are you 12? Like, that's not.
And the thing is, the vast majority of people remember their elementary school PE teacher.
Yeah.
Fondly. We are the fun. They are our babies for 6 years, some of them 7.
Yeah.
And we're the fun makers. They will always remember us, and the joy that we
like Mr. Rogers reading Rainbow. These people would have called those men creeps back then. Like if they were around today. It's insane the culture that we are living in here.
Yes, you are not wrong. So I did text you the Venmo information. Thank you. For me, I always have a tism. If I don't, I have to like attack something right away. I don't like having a to-do list, but yeah, man. Hey, for what it's worth, I really appreciate too a lot of the videos that you put out there. That's how we met, actually. I randomly I saw one of your first videos, and then everyone sends me everything you ever posted as if I haven't seen it. And so for those who aren't listening, like I have a small following on Instagram, like Diet Coke, a couple followers that from Ninja, but Tom with his angry gym teacher. It's been amazing, and not only is he funny, but he also gives out PE lessons. So even if you're a classroom teacher, make sure you listen up, because that's something you can do during your recess.
Thank you. But, and I want everybody should go follow you too. It's Morgan the Moose on Instagram, right?
Yes,
and then
sir.
are you on TikTok as well?
Word.
Morgan the Moose, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, or no? Just
TikTok. I say TikTok. I think I'm just. Let me check here. TikTok, just Morgan Moose.
Okay, cool. So we'll drop all that in the show description for anybody listening. Go give him a follow. The Venmo will be there too. Buy him a cup of coffee. Morgan, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate having you, brother. Thank you. And hey, thanks for teaching PE, man. It's really happy.
Well, thank
to
you
have
for teaching
guy
PE
out there doing it. In the trenches, taking grenades.
All right, there he goes. Morgan Wright, Morgan Sunstar Wright, Morgan the Moose Wright. Hope you enjoyed that conversation. Let me know what you thought. Email address is gymclasspod@gmail.com. I'm heading to Canada this upcoming weekend with the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. I'm not going to Texas. I'm so sorry. Anybody who had plans to come see me in Plano, Texas this Saturday, that show is once again getting rescheduled. I feel terrible because the first time it was rescheduled, the word wasn't spread to people who bought tickets, and I started getting messages from people who are like, hey, we're at the comedy club, where are you? The doors are locked. I hope that doesn't happen again. That would be humiliating. No, I am going to come to Texas eventually. When I get called up to do these board teacher shows, I kind of have to. I'm not in a position to turn those down because they're huge shows, and it's 4 shows up in Canada. I haven't been out of the country in like over 10 years. I haven't been in Canada since I was a tiny little child, so I'm really excited to go up there. We're going to be in London, then Kitchener, then Hamilton, and then up to Winnipeg on Sunday, which the Grey Cup is happening on Sunday. I've just learned about this Grey Cup, the Canadian Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? I can't wait. I want to go out somewhere and watch it after the show because the board teacher show is a matinee. So, hey, any Canadians in Winnipeg listening to this, tell me where we can go watch the Grey Cup together. Got some other board teachers coming up in December, and angrygymteacher.com is the website. Angry Gym Teacher is all my social media handles. Please give me a follow. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Give me a 5-star rating on Apple if you can. I'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week or whenever. Bye-bye.
Your test is over. The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test. A single lap should be completed each time you hear this sound. Your test is over. Your test is over.